Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Raj Singh. I practice here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today I wanted to talk to you about medical weight loss. A lot of my patients have a lot of questions and there's a lot of misinformation, so here's my attempt to clear some of those out. And of course these are my opinions and some are medical facts. But if you have any questions, please discuss with your doctor. This should not be considered as medical advice. So let's begin. So whenever we talk about patients who have weight issues, we could have family members, friends who struggle with their weight all their life. And these people are judged all the time. And they'll say, well, he's overweight because, just doesn't have the willpower to eat right. Or she's overweight because she does not exercise, does not watch what she eats. And these patients have no willpower. So I'm here to tell you that is not correct. Willpower generally does not have anything to do with weight loss in most cases. I know plenty of patients who work very hard, who eat right, exercise more than I do, and yet they cannot seem to lose weight. The more they exercise, the less weight they lose. It's very frustrating if you're overweight, you're trying everything and still nothing is working, yet you're being judged by everyone around you to be considered lazy and not taking care of your health. So willpower generally has nothing to do with being overweight in most cases. A lot of us have been blessed with better genes, so our body burns more fat. We store less fat compared to someone who is overweight. We have genes that protect against being overweight, but same way there are genes that actually promote fat storage. So that's why you'll see that it's a familial disorder. You will see that whole families who can be overweight and it's passed down from generation. And if parents are overweight, the kids are overweight. And there are a lot of studies where you can actually take these kids, put them in foster homes with parents who eat a fantastic healthy diet, exercise, all the habits are different, yet these kids are more likely to be obese because they have the gene of obesity. Actually, it's polygenic, so there are multiple genes that are associated with obesity, not just one. Then comes the question of dieting. There's so much advertisement on TV. You can lose 30 pounds in 30 days by trying our diet. And Americans spend like close to $2 billion a year on diet plans. Yet they do not work. If it was that easy, none of us would have weight issues. Dieting in general is only 2% successful. Most patients will regain the weight they lost once they've finished with the diet plan. The other issue with dieting is what we call yo-yo dieting. So what that means is someone starts to diet aggressively this month. They lost a significant amount of weight. Now they come off the plan and they tend to regain weight. In a few months they will try the dieting again. They will lose the weight but regain it back. So this extreme dieting is what we call yo-yo dieting. So every time you diet, after that you gain a lot of weight. It's extremely unhealthy for our health for a couple of reasons. One, you get a lot of nutritional deficiencies. A lot of the weight lost when you do extreme dieting is actually not fat, it's actually muscle tissue, because that's what we burn when we are in extreme stress or extreme dieting. Most patients who are overweight have less muscle to begin with. Their fat percentage is way high and their muscle percentage is way low. So when we do a body composition analysis in our clinic, we're able to track it down to see whether you're losing fat or you're losing muscle. And patients who have done extreme dieting tend to have a very high percentage of fat and a very small percentage of muscle, which is bad in the long run because it's muscles which control our metabolic rate. So if you have less muscle tissue, you're going to burn less calories when you're not exercising. So extreme dieting is not recommended. Those phases of weight gain, weight loss are extremely unhealthy. You can have osteoporosis, osteopenia, gallstones, pancreatitis, you name it. So not recommended to dieting. No extreme dieting. Changes in diet are good, but extreme dieting not advised. Exercise. It's good to exercise. If you're overweight, however, generally we do not recommend that you exercise. One, because you're going to just develop arthritis way more quickly, your knees are going to give up, and then you'll have even more mobility issues. So if you're doing, running, jogging, it's not recommended. Swimming is good, walking in a swimming pool is good, but extreme running, jumping from a rock to rock, there are some boot camps for weight loss which are not recommended. Walking is always a good thing if you're overweight, 60 minutes a day. Then comes the question of hormones. Hormones control our cravings to a certain extent. Hormones control our metabolism. So if someone is low in testosterone, they will have a tendency to gain weight. As with age, our hormones are going to decline, so we are going to have an increased risk of weight gain later years of our life. Of course, there is something called as estrogen dominance, which you should look it up. Estrogen dominance is where your estrogen is acting as a dominant hormone, and when you have elevated levels of estrogen, you would tend to store fat in the chest area and in the hip area. If you have estrogen levels are high, you are also going to crave a lot of salt, and it's tough to lose weight without bringing the estrogen levels down. Same applies for cortisol. People who have very high levels of cortisol tend to crave sugar a lot or a lot of other stimulants. So it's important to fix your hormones before a weight loss process can begin. That is really important. Testosterone replacement also, we do not recommend if someone has bad uncontrolled sleep apnea. It'll cause many more problems. It can decrease oxygen level while you're sleeping, which is not a good thing. Cravings, I covered it a little bit. When you're overweight, everyone looks at it and says this person has excess of everything, including fat. But that's the only thing excess overweight people have is fat. Otherwise, they are nutritionally deficient. A common example I will give is someone who craves a lot of chocolates tend to have deficiencies of magnesium. And we've seen that if we give these patients a lot of magnesium and replace their magnesium stores, they tend to do better. But if you do a magnesium blood test, generally they comes back normal because it only reflects the level of magnesium in the blood, not really at the tissue level. So cravings are the key. We look at, it's important to see what patients crave and the underlying reason behind that craving. Adaptive response. So this is what protects most of us against weight gain. So if I overeat for the next couple of days, my genes have a built-in adaptive response. So next couple of days, my metabolic rate will go up and you tend to lose that weight very, very quickly. So that's why you can say, well, a friend of mine, she eats everything, however, never gains any weight. I eat a little bit and I gain a ton of weight. So that's what the adaptive response is. So we all have that built in us if you're on the slim side, and that protects us against weight. So I hope that this has been informative. We'll be adding more topics and covering additional topics in detail. If you have not subscribed yet, I request you to please click the little button and subscribe. Thank you again, and I will see you back in a few days.